And so 8th graders, you're watching a screencast for Tuesday, February 25th. And this lesson is going to teach you how to create some simple graphics using pages. So as you're watching the screencast, I want you to pause it and then go out to pages and follow along, do the activity. And so you're going to be, jumping back and forth between your browser, which has the screencast playing in pages, and then we'll get to the assignment part when you finish a little lesson. But in this lesson, what we're going to learn how to do is use pages to create a simple stop sign like this. And along the way, we'll learn how to use the graphics elements of pages, and we'll learn some things with respect to layering graphics and how you can move objects around a little bit. So anyhow, we're going to have you launch pages. And when I go into pages, I got to go a little differently, but you know how to launch pages. I'm going to go in and I have to launch a previous version because I have the old pages as well as the new pages. So we're going to be doing this in the new pages, in the old pages rather. Anyhow, when you click New Document, instead of choosing the blank that is an upright document like this, I'd like you to go with a blank landscape, and that'll give your document more of a wider look. And then, like we always do, if we do Shift Command L, that'll show us our layout. So although this part's going to kind of run off the bottom of the screencast, no biggie, I'll just put my graphic above the cutoff. So over on the right, you can see the stop sign hanging out. That's what I'm trying to make. And over here, this is where I'm going to be making it. So anyhow, to make a shape like this and do basic drawings, you have this shapes drop down. And you can draw any number of things. You can see line segments, rays, full lines, squares, rounded rectangles, all of these things. So the one we want to choose for a stop sign down here looks like a pentagon at first, but when you choose it, you can define how many sides you want. So we know a stop sign has 8 sides, so we want to go with an 8-sided figure like so. And when I press return, I get my figure. And when you click on the graphics edge like this, you should be able to select your graphic. And when the graphic has handles, you can resize it. Tip number 1, to resize it, drag a corner. So like I said before, at any time in the screencast, if you want to jump back up to pages and do these as you kind of see them being done, then do it. But you're going to want to do only as many steps as you're comfortable with, memorizing it before you go back and perform the activity. Anyhow, I'm going to use the Shift key and drag this bigger so I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And the other thing is, I look at my picture over here, the stop sign. I need to rotate this. I got to get this flat edge more parallel with the ground. So to rotate a graphic, if you put your pointer where mine is on the handle, corner handle, and you hold the Command key down, then you can rotate it. So as I rotate this around, I'm watching little degrees here, and I'm going to move this down. That looks about straight to me. If I go down 335, or in this neighborhood, I'm using my eyeball technique more than anything. There should be a set number a guy should be able to use, but go to what you think looks straight, and we'll be good with that. Okay. Now the other thing is, once you have the shape done like that, we're going to color it. Your color button's right here. We're going to color that red, like so. Okay, so we'd like to add the text to the shape and the word stop. So what I like to do is use a text box for this so we can teach you how to layer things. So anyhow, when you click the text box, you get a generic one in which we want to type in the word stop. And if you double click your text, then you can increase your font size. I'm going to go with something like 64, and we definitely want white. Your mileage may vary depending on how big you drew your shape here. But I want to make this text box about this big, try to reposition it in the middle, and then I have like a white border going around the text box. And if I choose to fill that area with red, the same red preferably, then my box would kind of blend in. See, my text box has a red as a fill, so that's how you kind of make it blend in with your shape. And then to get it positioned right, use your eyeballs, use your arrows on your keyboard, and you should be able to get the stop part of it positioned like this. Okay, so that's your basic layering concept. All right, and what I have here is my original stop sign has a black border around it. See, that's where this black is. And we're going to change that so that we have red all the way around, same red preferably. And then what I'd like to show you is how to get this white border around the outside of the stop sign. So what we're going to do is just take this. This part's kind of tricky. We're going to take this shape right here, and we're going to hold the Option key and drag another one. And what that does is on a Mac, when you Option drag something, you get an exact duplicate. Okay, now if I'm not careful, if I put this over the top, it's going to cover it. But what I was thinking is we could use this one and fill it with white, make it a little bit bigger, and that would give us kind of a border around the other one. So I'm just going to use the Shift key and grab a corner and stretch this one a little bit bigger. And then what I want to do is I want to fill this with white instead. Okay, and you see where I'm going? If I put this this border color to be black and I drag this over the top, look what I'm doing. You know, I'm going to make this look like the white with the black over it. In fact, I have it right now. But right now, since it's over the top of this one, it's covering everything. So it's kind of tricky, but if you take this new shape, which is the same as the other shape, it's slightly bigger, and you right-click on it, you can send it backward. And that'll send it behind the text. And if we repeat that, send it backward again, then look what it does. It sends it behind the original shape. So it's a little over the top, a little bit tricky. If you have to, rewind that part. But all I did is I duplicated the original red octagon. I filled it with white, and then use a line color of black, and then by moving it behind, I get my border like that. So essentially that's how you create shapes. Now the other thing you can do is you can select all these shapes. If I click the first and hold down the Shift key, I can select the other ones, and now I have all of my shapes selected. And what you can do with these is you can group them. You know, in the old day you could right click and group these, but I don't see group as one of my shortcuts. So what I might do is just quick customize my toolbar like we learned how to do before. And group is something we use all the time in imaging. So if I just take forward and backward, you might want to use too. Those will send objects forward or backwards in the stack. But there's group and there's ungroup. So these are ones you're going to use with graphics. So what I might do is just keep them all selected and choose group. Oh, I have one big stop sign. So, you know, if I use that same technique where you Option drag a duplicate, now I got two stop signs. So really whether you make duplicates of your object or not really is irrelevant. So now you know how to create a basic shape. And what I'd like you to do for your assignment, just delete the shape, the stop sign, and I want you to think about your house and try to envision the front of your home, and I want you to try to draw that with shapes. All right, so for example, we might have this be the front of our house, and then think about things that appear in the front of your house. Right? You can use Google Maps to get a street view if you want, but I might have a window right here and a door, and then maybe try to make a triangle for the roof. So depending how creative you are with these shapes and layering and stuff, should be able to create the front of your house. And if you get done, maybe you can add a little sunshine over here. The only rules of this are you got to use all shapes that you draw. You can't go to the internet and copy and paste. So these all have to be Pages graphics. So hope you're able to follow along with this and then create your own house. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll check all these. So have some fun and create something nice. When you're done, you can go back and work on your typing.